Okay, everybody, so we're going to be doing some extremely simple ways of searching for PsychInfo, okay, which is a fairly common database for psychological studies and especially interest to the cognitive psychology and decision group. So, for starters, we're going to start here at this link. So this is the library.duke.edu. Now, I'm assuming that everybody, watching this video actually is a member of the Duke community. So first thing that we're going to do is to search for the appropriate database. So basically what I do here is that I go to this link here for databases and I switch it. Okay? And I am going to search for PsychInfo. Now, very important, and I used to get this wrong all the time. PsychInfo doesn't have an H after the C. So I just search for PsychInfo. And here you go. Depending on how you search, actually you can get some other links for PsychInfo. This time it only gave me one. So I am going to click here. And then, I already have my login and password, my NetID from Duke, saved. So, that's a requirement. So you just say enter. I'm gonna delete this tab here. Okay, good. So basically, you have now the PsychInfo interface. Now, I don't know how this compares to I have never searched PsychInfo at other universities. I am assuming that they should be fairly similar, but again, I don't know. I would be interested to know. You know. So let's assume for now, before you start doing a search, you need to actually know what your research question is. So let's just say that at this point we're interested in the following research question: How does advertisement information affects decision making among patients? Now, I am not going to be doing a full search on this because this would take a long time. But I'm just going to show you some tricks. And number two, I'm interested in, I don't know if we're even going to get there, but I'm interested in this from an experimental design perspective. Okay. Okay, good. Again, I don't know if we're going to get to step two or if I'm just going to do a broad search, but that's basically what I'm interested in. Good. So going back to the the interface for PsychInfo. So maybe just to start broadly, looking for some general terms. I want to use the word advertisement. Okay. And then within advertisement, I need to search for a given field. Now, I could, start very broadly and search for some keywords or a few other things. I'm gonna make it because I'm in a, I'm in a rush, so I'm gonna look for the word advertisement in the title. I'm not saying this is the best way for you to do your search, but anyway, this is one way of doing it. So I'm gonna search for this. Okay, and it gave me a bunch of papers here. Let's, just for the sake of argument, let's say that this first one here, is of interest to me. So comparing narratives of personal and preferred partner characteristics, online dating. That's interesting. Okay. I'm going to click here just to see what this paper is all about. And it basically gives me some more information, including the abstract, different types of keywords and other characteristics of the publication. But the abstract only gives me so far. So basically what I do here is I want to get it at Duke. I click on this button. It opens a new tab. And then if you're patient enough, At some point, it's going to show up. Well, I was hoping it was going to show up. Well, let's leave this for a second here, expecting that it's going to upload at some point. And I want to show you something else. So let's say that, yeah, still not there. Okay. So let's say that, now I want to start, this search actually got way too broad. It's not working well. So, I want to narrow this down a bit. Usually, there are several different ways of actually doing this. One of them is to do, an advanced search. That previous screen that I showed you before was a basic search. And here you have something that's more specific. So now, since the word advertisement is still here, I can basically narrow this down by a bunch of different fields. So if I have a reason, for example, to restrict by publication year, I could restrict it here. By publication type, journals, language, etc., etc., etc. Another way of actually doing the restriction is to add more terms to the search. And here you can start combining them using Boolean terms. So let me, like I've known extremely smart people who get very confused, and I really mean very confused with Boolean search. So let me try to explain this in hopefully, what's going to be a simple manner. Let's say that, I ran my search on advertisement and I got a set of articles, all of them having the word advertisement in their title. So basically, that's what I asked for. Let's call this the advertisement set. Okay. So if later, I create another search. Let's put this with a different word. And let's say I want now to restrict my search by something like experimental papers. Now, I could define experimental in my search in multiple ways. I could have the word experimental in the abstract, or I could look for some keyword. But the point is, what I'm trying to do here is, if I say that my experimental set is, is going to be combined with the advertisement set, there are basically three options here. Okay, so the first option is that the there are certain there's not going to change the color. So there's a certain number of papers that are going to be common between advertisement and experimental set. Actually, this would probably be the set of papers that I'm interested in. Okay, so basically this group of papers is the intersection between these two sets. How do I do this? Well, basically, I just say that I want advertisement and experimental. Put the red. Okay. So and most people get confused here because in regular, daily language, whenever you say that you want something in something, it means you want both. So basically, you would want all of them. In Boolean language, and basically this is what it is. So in Boolean terms, whenever you say and, what you really mean is something that is at the same time in this set and this set. So it's common to both sets. However, if instead of and, I say advertisement or experimental, basically what I mean is instead of, just the intersection between these two, what I'm saying is I want uh, references that are at the same time in this set, the advertisement set, and the experimental set. So basically what this means is I don't care where they are, they can be either here or here. And so basically the OR search would retrieve all of this. So it would retrieve everything that's typical from the advertisement set, everything that's typical from the experimental set, and everything that is in between those two. There's a third way of actually doing this, which would be to say, I want to use the not search. So, for example, if I say that I want the advertisement, but not the experimental, basically you would say, okay, I want everything that's in this white thing, but not the things that are in red. So basically what you end up with is this portion here. Okay, so this should be pretty simple. How do you do this then? Well, we have already said that we want advertisement, and we want this just by the title. Let's now do experimental. And again, I'm not too concerned here about which fields I'm going to use, so I'm just going to choose abstract, and I'm just going to run a search. And let's see what it gives me. So it basically gave me, a bunch of different things for experimental. I'm going to go back to my search history. And now what I am going to do is I'm going to take that thing out. I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to combine them with an AND. And let's see what happens. So basically when I search, it's going to say S1, which is this search, and S2, which is this search, and it gives me, a number that is, remember here, an AND search, which is something that is common between this set and this set, which is basically this. Now, can I tell that this actually happened? Well, kind of, yes. Because if you look here, the result for S1 for all of the advertisement, it's 934 papers. For S2, it's 96,000 in some odd papers. And then when I restrict by the intersection between the two, I only get 51. Just for the sake of conclusion, it finally loaded. So this, if you remember from the beginning of this video, I had asked for one specific paper, and then in this paper, I have the option of actually, going through the PDF. So I can save this to my computer and happily do my research. That's it for now. Later, we're going to cover some other topics. Bye.